I admit I'm not numbed out enough. I'm not numbed. I'm not numbed out. I think the number one number is money. And I just have never had enough of it to not care. You know, I, I have never had enough money to not care for you, for myself, and of course the bill pay stupid thing. Um, that's always a worry. It's not a care. That's geared to keep people on a lower vibrational frequency of scarcity and not being enough. And it's really hard to pull up out of that, right? Have you had anybody of a high vibrational frequency? Have you ever been around love enough? It's kind of, it is true that your children are a little bit more advanced than you spiritually, if you let them be. Boy, that could have just meant, was code word for saying they're going to deteriorate even harder here and they're not going to live very well here. But, the real thing that's happening is that um, they've made it that much more. We're here to do evolution of human consciousness, and that's a very spiritual thing. It has nothing to do with the obvious that you see as just what it is. That's really the distraction, the 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 weapons of mass distraction. That, of course, this is a issue that stems above the earth, into the upper realms where there's actual intelligence going, biting their nails about what is becoming of just probably perhaps an experiment here, where, hey, we had that solar eclipse, and the thing is like, okay, so it got a lot of people to move and look up at the same time. And see, I took a picture of it when it was a certain way in my area, and if somebody else saw it that way, they most likely they went to the same place, the same common sense that I am, which is there's the truth, the nature of that, and they say, well, the truth is like the sun, moon, and the stars or something. Just no matter what, that's just the truth. Everybody has to see it. See, the thing is I've noticed. See, the thing is, I've met people. See, I'm an astrologer, and astrology has to do with the moving celestial objects. It's not astronomy. Astronomy is more dealing with the slowest moving, which is not, doesn't seem like they're moving at all. When we're dealing with astrology, it's the fastest of the actual moving objects in the sky, called planets and asteroids and stuff. That's astrology. So I'm very aware, like, well, wow, this thing is, it's like clockwork. And you can look up in the sky and see these things. When it says that the moon is conjunct the sun in a certain part of the sky with the constellation, yes, it's there. And I've been observing this. Yes, the moon is doing its phases, and it's going like this. Here I am experiencing. It's like, yeah, we know about this, right? No, not everybody knows about this, especially not the narcissist. The narcissist doesn't look up or look anywhere in reality. They have closed their account with reality, so the truth is missing. So they'll come up with, I mean, it'll be after 25 or more like 30. We are fucking 45 years old, trying to have a conversation with these people, and they'll say, oh, yeah, no, the moon wasn't there last night, but did you notice it was here tonight? And it's like would like to have a real conversation with some of these people once in a while in this life. Sorry, I admit I'm in a kind of a mood or something, but it's really the mood of humanity, who we are not really. How is this trying to tell you? It's like we're not that numbed out. If you really think about it, I mean, come on, man, the stupid fucking numbers game, the money run. It's like obvious. It's like, oh, okay. Do you realize that? Okay, so you're using electricity. You have to figure out how many hundreds of thousands of dollars or many tens of thousands of dollars do you need to just pay that off. Just can you get rid of that, because I want to really be able to contribute and do something while my ass is being wiped apparently by something that apparently, yeah, I have to use toilet paper, which we shouldn't be doing that. There's water. If you're doing it right, you're taking a crap inside of a hole, right? What I mean is, it's looking like a toilet with water in it, and there's water in the bathroom, is what I'm saying. It's cleaned. Clean. We can use water. Okay, can we use water? God. Toilet paper, messy. It's like that's like well, in case you don't have a toilet and you're going camping, if you don't have any access to clean water, and you know that it's not right to necessarily wipe your ass on the leaves and toss it. Really, people, learn how to live wherever you are, whatever you're doing. Really, at the very least, when you're camping, you're burying your shit, and there's a certain depth that you should bury it. Pardon my voice, but I bet you anything. See, there's rumor that your savior is coming to town. Do you think your savior wants to save your cancer and keep your cancer growing and fed? Do they want to keep your illness pampered and keep you all nice and sick? And if all you knew was that, and that's your shelter, do you want, and you knew that your savior gets rid of that shit? You can't fucking hold that as a crutch. I don't mean it as. See, I just saw somebody going, "Oh, thank you, God, I have my mobility now." I'm not saying that that's a bad thing for you. You know what I mean? It's just when you're talking to the enemy, it's not welcome here. Whatever is making everything diseased, the disease itself, what is it? Whatever it is, it's not welcome. That's the way your fucking savior is gonna be. Is it gonna be a voice that's gonna tra-la-la you into the fucking? Yes, it is. If you're on the right side, if you're feeling good enough, you're like, thank you. I'm just like that. The video I put up here, the video I just made, same robe. The woman the only one, I remember her in my life. The trip, I just remember. Oh, she had a lot of planets that were near my grandmother's. It was weird. She has December 16th, but my grandma's December 19th. She has Venus more close to my Venus in Capricorn. Just a kind of human being that's rare. And boy, I was about ready to cry because, yeah, those are the people that you might not, you might be too young to realize, but because she was a lot older than me, not a lot. The main thing, babes, is that now she reflects it to me because I remember we had eye contact. Is that there isn't any difference when there's love. There's a realization of that you share, but that they can have, but they can appreciate it in you somehow, and maybe you're not fully processed through into that place. I don't know, man, but people, now is the time. I mean, I really see during the eclipse, I went and got water. I thought, well, it will be just within minutes. I thought it would happen a little later than 11, but it started to happen at 11. And I was right there filling my water. And I noticed I was doing my little, making the holes and little dots that will turn into crescents on the wall. And I was trying to do that, It was very empty in town. I was noticing, it's like, wow, there's nobody here. And I showed a couple people that. Wherever I went, I showed them that. See, that was the thing that I noticed is what I'm saying during the eclipse, this is important to know what it was that you were doing. See, I was interacting with people saying, "Oh, what's happening now? It's happening right now." And I was wondering, did they know what was happening? And so one guy, he kind of made his way across the street, and he had a arc welder's glass that comes out of a mask, and he was just holding it up, and I got to see it in real time. See, he influenced me with that experience, and we had this experience together. And I remember just really, I don't know, I felt like I knew this guy. First of all, he was really old, and he would just, when guys get really old, they just have that classic beard and a little longer hair, you know. Anyway, and I just felt like I knew these people forever. I mean, I was really, really knew their characters, and we would have nothing but acceptance and love for each other. There wasn't a problem or anything. It was just we didn't know each other, but we were brought together by that moment. And I think that that's the way to live. Really, you should be present and available. And what brings you together is a common sense called reality. And look, the truth is happening. Sun, moon. What's the big deal? Well, the big deal is that we check out most of the time, Shauna. We're doing numb. And you aren't important, and neither are we. Fucking stitched up dummies. Pardon me, man, but it's fucking looking red shit. No wonder. I'm here to tell you, if there was a Jesus, yeah, baby, woo! Here to tell you, and I know a lot of people that are in fact, and just about every one of us, thank God, no real life suffering going on with cancer, or just the old age and breaking down and dying. And in fact, everybody's getting into the disease. I mean, the whole fucking babe. This life is a disease. If you're watching this, I mean, come on. I mean, rumor has it that it it could be next year goes into Aries. But I'm saying my theory is that if you haven't seen it yet, you'll never see it. Because what we're going to see when Pluto goes into Aries is outright spiritual warfare brought to the surface, and it's like the language will be here. It's a yay or a nay. It's not even a question. We've been handling it and dealing with it for a long time, and it's like, what's causing disease and what heals it? Hello? Simple. Let's look at it. What is it? Oh, something tuned off over there. 440. At the 440, it's supposed to be 432. Music. What are you guys doing? Ha ha ha! What are you getting up in the morning for? What leads you? Oh, what did you just build? A garden full of toxic waste. Yay! This is going to be obvious. Black and white. Split. And the truth is, one who has been a little bit too nice, playing nicey. It's just converted over into like, just be nice. Wait, wait, wait! Just like, these people are fucking crazy. You're not even real. Playing nicey nice. I told you the look of sanity is this. Trying to get understood. You'll see it pop up in some of your favorite gurus, if you have a favorite guru. They're not even around anymore. Or are they? I'm saying it's just the same, and that's what the hell the fucking spiritual warfare is. It has expanded into just from one household to the next. It's programming. One program is one aperture, one side of the organism is programmed. We've talked about this before. How? What do you think it is? Come on, in Shauna's school, you would know already. They're programmed to the mind. It's not even Shauna's school. It's a lot of other channels and people that say it less harsh than I do. I mean, they might brush their hair in the morning and not have their bed showing. But hey, I'm not here for the fake. I'm here for the real. Like as uh, Mark Smalf would say. What I mean is Ralph Smart. Just fading off into the numb. Got his numbers going on. Jumbled up language. You can see it's like he's excited about something about language. His most recent video, he's talking about Babylon. What is Babylon? I'll put that. I guess I'll put this as my title. This is my April 9th. I'm getting more updated to just, here we are, the April 9th. A good friend of mine's, Aries, has this birthday today. And she's another one. I talked about, see, now it's time to talk about your heroes in life. Just people that have a good enough vibe for you during during what you know that you're kind of wading through darkness, you're wading through a lot of toxic shit, and there's a friend there that says, "No, come on, let's just go over here." And not that they're any better, but really they pull you away from going into your own darkness about just hanging around and being influenced enough. It's true, and you see somebody there that's just a spirit that looks you in the eye and says, "I love you," and it's authentic. You can just surrender to it, right? It's not feeling as bad anyway. Gosh, dang the split. And what are we trying to say? It's eventually, babes, you're gonna have to start honoring that within yourself, because did you know some of us who think that, okay, we are going to see rapture, as well as the opposite, which is just it's the churning out of the physical ambiance. The physical ambiance is not always. I don't say it's always, because we are looking at a possibility of elevating consciousness, awareness as a human embodiment, like as a physical connection to the reality of reality and everything, just in general, where that we become realized, we start disappearing away from uh, the density. What is so dense about how that we would fear death? See, there will be no death. It's almost like we will be able to hold each other's hands and say, okay. And this is so scary, because it's almost looking like one scene just sees an atom bomb go off, or an H bomb, but people remain in creation of creation in such a way that they ascend into the where what they were harboring inside of their, if you want to call it a memory bank, but it's how could be. Thank you for it, all of a sudden entering into Shauna's Wi-Fi. I'm talking about the possibility of the universe consisting of expanding and contracting beings. And the ones that expand, they are able to hold each other's hand because they love each other enough, and they say, "Shh, this was a great trip. Fuck Luke Skywalker." And they just go to where it's built up, and we don't have that wonder. We don't have that mystery. Like, how do I have? What is this lifesaver for? How do I have any of this? What are we doing here? No, we can go to a place of better connection to how do you find yourself? See, we are pretty sure that the universe is 100% human. The universe is human. It's the same as saying, if you're a human being. We're talking about human beings, babe. People that can have this conversation and actually think it's like way more real than anything ever. Now they're starting to find their dialogue and get a grip instead of going numb. You notice the people that are into numbers, they don't have a real conversation for you. They're kind of too busy too, right? They're too busy for what? Just not, don't take it personally. It's the availability to reality and the truth. And if you happen to be in it, just like the sun of the moon, good luck. You have to wait for a day that comes up, and it's once in every how many fucking what? Okay, so it's 17 years ago that we had a full total eclipse. Just wait for that day and hang a sign on it. Hello, karmic beings. That reality check? Barely, hardly. Boy, was it worth it, all spending all that money going clear across. And it's a lot of money for 4 minutes, and they do. They're like, woo! They're all screaming at it for 4 minutes, because if they didn't pay that much money, it wouldn't be all that exhilarating. This is what the sick thing is. It's like, if I started charging $1,500 just to get in my channel, you would think it's worth it, and you would pull. You would do the work to pull till out of me. Whatever video I made, you would get each little jewel that I've placed, which I will. I'll place a jewel in each little video you'll find. It's like, I don't want to waste these people's time. I want to go boom to the highest teaching. Let's hope they got it. Most likely no, because the highest teaching goes beyond mine and beyond what 80%. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Ralph Smart and all the rest who gets their language jumbled up. You'll never hear them say, no, let's talk about what reality is. See, we don't like to give it up if you're a real life master. We're not going to just end this now with just the 3-letter word and get it over with. In this now. What is reality, Mommy? Just trying to help her out, you know what I mean? It's not a question. The kid is like, what is reality? That's what the only time they ever ask a question. They're like, why? They want to know, it's like, do you have any brains? Do you think? That's why they have questions so much. And then the more and more they ask, and the more they're going to be, they don't get anything but, oh, you don't really function. I guess I'll have to go to school. Put me in, and that place over there is the same as any church or military. If you're miserable enough in your household, in your living situation, it's boring, inhospitable, happily traipse over there. No draft. Just go. Go join the military. They're going to take care of you. How do you think that the fucking household got that inhospitable in the first place? Did they have a bitchin' religion? I mean, first of all, did they reach out and ask for help from somebody? Was it originally reaching out, or did they just get held captive? Comment section down below. Do you remember the wars that were just happening? Hardly. Well, I remember, yeah, my family, the one that built this cabin right here, he was half Indian, and there's a story they would pass down that's because they were full Indian before, but before that, see, the genocide happened. They killed around 45 million Indians, but not before 65 billion buffaloes were killed. That was their food source, and once they took their food source away, it kind of made them sketchy. They had to come out and see, first of all, taking their food source away means taking their land away. They used to grow corn and stuff like that, the Indians. They wouldn't eat animals all the time, but when they started eating animals is when they had to become running. And the fucking cowboys could not win the Indians. They were scared shitless with their guns, and because they were on Indian territory. And the only way to scare them out, first of all, not only with their thunder sticks, the fucking Indians noticed they had thunder sticks. It terrified them. They started shooting their food source over winter time, driving the Indians more around and making them run for that food, which would be the buffalo. That's not the usual, but they knew they could. Of course, they used the buffalo for everything. They made instruments out of them, and yeah, like flutes and clothing and their homes. If it was wintertime, the North American Indians would use those to make teepees and stuff, and that's just how the way they lived, and they lived. You don't know what they were doing in their bodies. They were stolen from. There were shamans. Shamans are the ones that can see. They used to use the raven to look through the raven, and they would get images readily of what other tribes were doing in other canyons, and this is what terrified whatever came over the cowboys, and they had to operate the way they did undermining them, and because they were losing a lot of the battles and everybody was getting killed, right? Do you remember that? Why can't we whatever has enslaved whatever to do that, to kill like that? It's demonic. You can say it's demonic because it's looking like it's human, but it's not possessed by the human spirit. The one that, I mean, boy, Indians kind of sensed it a long time ago that this would happen. And this is not just one story I'm talking about on the U.S. continent. This has happened everywhere. The reason why We even call the Indians Indians is because the stupid asses thought that they landed in India, and then and it took them a long time to figure out, no, these aren't Indians. And then, did they care? No. And a lot of people today, right now, they have a bone in their body. They have something in their body that says, and why should you care? Those were animals. Fuck them. Fuck them. We're doing this now. Doing what now? Good for you. You found a synthetic way of keeping you embodied inside of a potential human being. Just hanging in here, coming back in incarnations and not moving anywhere into the universe, or you're not even caring for animals here or anything. This is just it is so, I swear to God, I have looked at this, and as you got this far, and I hate to talk about this, but this is, hey, you watch, a lot of people, the people that are just feeding on, you're being fed entertainment that is so hideous, right? It's about the sorrow and the grief and jerking your heart around. What about somebody that had diseases, and let's get over that disease and this disease and that disease, and also the killings. Oh, there's a murderer in town, or no, just the way we take care of it is to kill them, or let's have a war story, or let's fucking just whatever it is. There's a violent scene, and some woman is crying, and it's just a shitty fucking, that fucking movie. Turn it off, because guess what? What you see out here is fucking even worse than that, boy. Why don't you get into your real movie? Because it's important. You one day you'll be somebody who can help somebody else just by saying, you know what? You help yourself. Really, you just help yourself, and try and be as frank as you can in front of them, especially if they're going through the illness that is getting into just the body that is diseased by having been attacked. And it's like, well, what is this? It's just it. It's a historical account that you're just jumping into and going, great. How did that work out? None of your business, really. The creator of creation has control of all of that. Sorry, I'm sounding very drunk right now, and I probably am. If you're a higher vibrational frequency being, you are kind of like high or drunk on, and it's really hard here because how do you maintain it? Well, you can protect yourself by expressing yourself, and you kind of burn it off. You burn it away. Say, and let that all just go out into the universe, and I'm me, and it's it, and more like absorbed, fully absorbed, and we don't, especially don't be attached to anything negative. And what I mean is unhealthy. Sorry, I don't mean negative, because both positive and negative evenly is a healthy balance. But to be unhealthy would be to deny either or, right? They're equal and opposite positions, which is there, you know, um, to give yourself the right, um, is just pure beauty, man. And you recognize some things going on this planet. So the thing I wanted to get to is really hard, but see, after having witnessed what happened with my cat, see, everything is getting pummeled by this, whatever it is. You can talk about the number system. Money. You want to make money, kids? You can get a grant working, and they're handing out what do they call them? Bonuses. You want a bonus? Mercy on the potential of all life, because money is hiring something of a new job. You want your new environmental consultant job. The fake education of going around, and it's connected to the SCE company, who they don't want the trees to get them in trouble. It's bullshit. It's war on life, and they keep cutting down more and more, taking the oxygen away. It's not a joke that's happening. Anything good news, Shauna? Yeah, there's good news that this isn't all there is. This is a very short time. It's like a hellacious fucking school you're in right here. It is. Unfortunately, it's going to close down. It could close down. It could turn into a Mars over there. As far as the how it's looking like, well, we did have used to have a layer here, extraterrestrial, like an extra terrain, due to just things having ideas and emitting. Time was going according to whatever imagined itself here. It's just not available there or there anywhere. Why? What is it really? What is it really? What do you think it is that keeps it worth it to have an experience here at all? Because, boy, I see a lot fading out and more something fading. It's like, uh-oh, how do we get back to the garden where the water is clean, where it's like, hey, we don't worry about a lot of things because we figured it out already. We are operating in such a way that it's taking care of itself. And and see, we always just visualize, well, we're going back to the garden. It's like, then you have your cave, you have no electricity. No, we are humane beings, and we apply our humanity to the tools, whatever tool comes up, whatever tool comes up. Now, getting back to that tool, the thunder stick, think about it. What kind of tool did they give what? What is that? And then the gun. And what are they doing with it, really? I mean, we all know it's just like they um, they didn't want to use bullets for shooting the cows that are being eaten at the rate of, well, there's like 33 billion fucking animals being killed a year just in the USA alone just to have breakfast. But a lot of it is pigs and cows, big ones too. How do they kill them? Well, they used to just put, right, a bullet in their head or slice their throats. Um, all of the throat slicing is not good. You have to either do. That's why they ordered a bunch of guillotines. They were wondering, oh, look at all the guillotines coming. It's because you guys are eating cows at the rate of crazy, and there's a fucking spool full of cows that are reeling in and out. Every day it's a Ferris wheel of thousands of cows that have to have their heads chopped off. Keep going, keep eating your fucking chugging away. I've already made a video of this saying, consume, consume, consume. That has to stop. Has any of you ever fucking worked for your food? Really? What are you accomplishing out there? Especially that paper life where, people are doing the paper life. I'm not saying that it's not good to have a structure and keep track of things and have people doing stuff. No, but see, now let's apply humanity to it. I mean, what is really going on here? Talk about a fucking cattle crawl. See, if we really had intelligence happening amongst the organism that was placed in very unique places like this place, see, we're all unique. Each and every single person is. This is the real life we live in, and real intelligence is going to be able to dial this in along with what's already here, creating and creating. You co-create with it. It's already here. We can see it. It's a strange thing, though, see, with the interference. There's a lot of interference, okay? We're wondering, like, okay, so is CERN doing something good or bad? You know? What really happened? They are switching the ley lines of the plasmatic fucking field holographically, which connects to our pineal glands, and that's what changes, like, like history and time and stuff. Like what I mean is like the Mandela effect and how strange that things would just all of a sudden shift a little bit. It's like, did you notice that that doesn't even matter anymore? It really doesn't. And some people are still programmed. They're holding on to something. It's like that doesn't help. That doesn't help. That's creating a fucking hell of a talk about chaos. Yeah. See the higher vibrational frequency, which is love, which is becoming humane, which is becoming a humane being, really the being that is embodied by having you have to cultivate that love up, get yourself going there, get your intelligence on that that is like now highly aware. You would have to be chosen. It's not a coincidence here. You are part of well, it has to do with your body. And really, anybody can do it. This is what Christ Jesus would say. Is like, no, this is within you also. You have 5-pointer here. Now, there's a certain bunch of practices that you may or may not know. Either it will happen accidentally to you, you'll have a dark night of the soul. It's like, several of them, right? Pertaining to you can't eat that stuff anymore. Did you get cancer? Well, stop doing that. Starve yourself. There you go. You're almost dead. Good. Now get back up. Or you can't do that entertainment anymore. Are you feeling antsy? Are you almost fucking going crazy with what are you pacifying yourself with? Can you just meditate? There you go. Heading into what you're really supposed to be is turned on by the tentacles of God. You know, a reason why you're here is just finding your purpose. That's all. It has nothing to do with your career or anything like that. I mean, you want that, and it's like, yeah, you want to be part of the crew that we recruit with a gun to your head and the black boot snapping in your face, or else it's the best way. Yes, no, it's just not even or else. Of course, right? You want this job, you want this career, being a numb ass, holding ground for the enemy in case a human being was to poke its head up anytime soon and has a question. You can just be another brick in the wall, or what I would say is just another blade in the lawnmower.